Hello, good afternoon. My name is SirlenyCordoba, and I am going to present today my oral response in the video format to the questions based on information from the chapter number 2. The first questions that we have is explain two aspects to take into consideration when determining what item types you should use in your test. In this case, I chose the types of items to include in tests are the ones that the students are already study during the lessons, and they have practice, and they are familiarized with them. They should not have surprises during the test, because this can confuse them even though they know the topic very well, and they are familiar, they could be familiarized with the topic, but if they don't know how to do the type of item, they could get confused. And the items should align with the objective, the indicators of learning that the teacher had developed during the class. Uh, this is because they will know the skills, they have been practiced these skills, but they cannot cover the type of items cannot cover things that they haven't seen or haven't studied during the class. So that's why it's really important that we can follow the objectives and the indicators of learning when we are planning and developing the test. On this second question, I am going to talk about the importance of write clear instructions in test. Well, the first reason is that they must avoid confusion, the confusion that can generate if we use vocabulary that is from a different level than they are used to. So we need to use simple language, and we have to use a vocabulary that is simple, the most simple that we can find, the better that it will be. So we cannot use expressions, vocabulary, instructions that are more sophisticated that they know, because if not, they are going to be confused. The second reason is that we need to specify the type of item that we are going to use. That is really important, that we write the instructions well, and that we write for example, if it's a match item, we need to write that so they know that it is going to be a match item during the test, and that they have the different steps and the different sections. And if selection one, or if they have to write, not only write the instruction, but also write the type of item that they are going to be. In these two ways, we can avoid this confusion that the students can have. So we can center in what they know, and so they avoid to fail because they don't understand the instruction, and not because they don't know the subject.
Okay, for question number three, what we had to do is to analyze a item from the textbook, and we have to um, think about three aspects to improve in the instructions of this item that we have. Well, the first thing that I think that it is wrong in this and that we can improve is that the instructions are incomplete. For example, maybe we can change the instructions for look at the picture and write the correct word in the line. So we can um, take these kids and move them to the picture and assess them, that we can say to them that you have to write on the in the line, so they know what to do, because there are kids that can be feel lost if they don't only see, like, write the body part, and they say, okay, right there, right, the body part where it could be something like that. The other part is that it says only 1 point each, and you should add 1 point each, 5 points in total, so they know how many points is going to be the item in total. That is important for them too. And the other thing is that it has two different letter sizes, and this can be tricky also for them because they can get confused and they can read only the part that has the biggest size and omit the other one. So it will say only write the body and write the body. What is write the body, right? So I think that we can improve this item um, in these three aspects. In question number 4, we have to describe one type of oral test that could be used at an elementary school level. Explain how this test could be useful for students at an elementary school level. Well, for me, show and tell is a great test or for our tests because you can use it in all ages. For example, if you are in first grade, you could use it because you can tell them to bring a toy to the class and they can practice at home some sentences that they can explain, and they can bring, you can have like a big bag. I have done this before. So I made a big bag with a fabric bag, and you can put the toy inside so the student can can tell to the classmates, oh, my toy is green, it has wheels, and it goes fast, or things like that, so they can guess too that this is a car, for example. You can send the instructions to the house, and you can say that they can prepare 3, 5, 10 sentences depending of the grade, the level, sorry. And they can practice this at home, and they can show, and the whole class can participate. They are going to be like a focus on what is going to be inside the bag. And but if there is a level like fourth grade or something like that, you can use different things. Could be a toy, but also you can tell them to bring something from their houses, or to bring an object that they like, or something like that, and they can show them. And this is a good way to practice oral presentations and oral tests. Well, for the last questions, we had to share to look for teachers, to teachers that help us with tips, and we have to share the tips that they gave us for making tests, including tips for the different item types. The first teacher that I talked with was Maria Jose Bolaños. She is an English teacher for private institution, and she told me that well, as we saw in on the book, the best thing that you can do is use a vocabulary that the students can read well and have good formats. Avoid writing tests, like for example, if you are going to write a test, you should not use the test part in one page and the questions in other different page, because this can confuse the kids. They have to turn the page over and over again. So you should avoid that and use one page the like the text, and in the same page in the down part you could write the questions. That is one. Later on, I talked up with Jaudi Sanchez. She is an English teacher also in a private institution. She is one of my son's teacher, and she told me that for her something important is to choose well the answers when it is the multiple choice item, because you should avoid, and you have to be very careful, because you have to use, if for example if you are using a verb as an answer, you should use all verbs. And you have to be careful, because if not, you can give them the answer before they know it. If you add, like for example, one verb and the other two questions, the other two options are going to be adjective, maybe they can figure out which one is the answer. So these are the tips that these two teachers gently share with me.